Hi everyone, I wanted to make another video on how our Govee lights work. This is for training purposes, for those of you wanting to know a little bit more about how to program our lighting system and all that. This is going to show you how to do that. So you're going to want to open the Govee app and get logged in and be on the church's Wi-Fi network, Eastview. That will give you control over the lights. So you can see on the shortcut panel, which is the second little guy in, you have all of these group control surfaces. So we have just the CLC stage, and you can toggle those on and off, and of course go through and go to plans that I've made for the stage, and that's where you can tap and control different settings that I've already laid out in there. But there's also an easier way to do that. I also have a couple of other special groups. So like balcony, I have every single light in the CLC, which actually that may or may not be active anymore. But with the balcony, the projectors, in case those lights for whatever reason want to stay on when you select a plan, they are all set to plans that turn the projector lights off when the sermon starts and everything, but sometimes they have a mind of their own and you want to use this projector button to turn them on and off, which is just, a little bit of a nuisance, but that's okay. You also have these shortcuts down here. They're just single tap. So any of these, if you tap, they will do what they are programmed to do. So if you want to put the stage on preaching mode, you can just tap the little blue finger tap icon there and it will turn the stage blue. And it will say applying. If it's applied all of the settings and it's still circulating like that, you can just hit the little X. If you want to change any of these settings, if you want to go in and adjust what these do, all you have to do is hit the text there, the main box, and go through and adjust the settings for each one of these. So these are all numbered, CLC stage, front row, and it's counting from left to right. So 2 would be the second light in on the very front row of the stage. Then there's the middle row, and then there's the back row. So you can make adjustments for all of those. You can adjust the cross. You have scene options that are pre-built. I did not make any of these. They're just pre-made from the app, or you can change it to a single color. There's also DIY settings that you can make, and the cross will do all sorts of things that you want it to do. I don't mess around a whole lot with that. I think it's just easier to use the pre-built scenes that are in the app. Find something that you like to kind of match what you're trying to build, and you're good to go. So you can go through and you can control each individual light separately. The back 2 lights, I have them set to a white, very dim light for the people in the back to be able to read their music. But those don't change anything based on what the remote is going to do. So if you want to change what the remote does, you actually have to go into the button remote settings on the home page. So if you go to the home page here, button remote, and you want to change what any of the buttons on the remote does, you have to go in here. So there are only 5 buttons in use right now. So if you wanted to add another one, you could add a setting to button number 4. That's the only one that's available right now. You can see 1, 3, 2, 5, and 6 are all in use. So if you want to add a new setting that would allow the remote to do something different, I think it would be wise to have an alternate worship setting so you can have a different color between songs or something like that. But if you want to tell the remote to do something different with the lights for a particular worship song, you can go in and hit worship. And just like in the other shortcut, you can go through and control each individual light bulb separately. Now, I did have to build these scenes from scratch. I had to go in and add the selected color that I wanted. It's easier if you have some saved colors up top here, but the gist of it is, you just go through and change each light bulb individually until you kind of like the color scheme. You can also go to our shortcuts over here on the shortcut panel and go to CLC stage and go to multiple color. and you can go ahead and try these recommended plans to give you some ideas. They have a lot of different pre-built color schemes. A lot of times I would select those and it would give me a color layout that I liked, and I would just go back to my home page, to the button remote, and change all of these lights to kind of match what that color scheme was. The other thing that you can do with this app, which I think is kind of also helpful, is let's say you don't like any of these recommended plans that they have for you. You can have random colors made like that, and it will just give you a random color scheme. A lot of times you can just generate over and over and over again until you find one that you like. And once you do, you can save it. I will say, when you use these basic group control shortcuts, it's kind of a hassle because you have to put the brightness up to 100%. The default is typically not 100% brightness, and with the colors, because the colors are so much more dim than the white or warm light, you really want to use 100% brightness on the colors. Otherwise, the stage is really too dark. So you'll notice on these shortcuts for the button remote, I have all the colored lights set to 100%. These white lights down here are not set to that because that would be way too bright. Same with the preaching. If you look at the preaching lights, they are surprisingly very dim. Otherwise, the stage would be way too bright to look at from down below. So that is the general gist of how our Govee light system works. It's helpful to just kind of explore the app and see what kind of workflow works best for you. But it's really not that hard once you kind of get used to playing around in the app. And that's pretty much everything that you probably need to know to get started on how to run our smart lights in the CLC. So there you go.